Alright, hey everybody. Sorry about the long kind of hiatus thing. Yeah. Kinda started work in college and all that jazz, sort of. Threw a monkey wrench and everything. Anyway. I'm back to say, 1, I'm alive. 2, if you guys want a tutorial, I'm starting this thing. Just leave me a comment on this video. And from then on to next videos, and so forth. If you don't leave a comment, I can't make the tutorial. I don't have time to go through every single one like I had originally planned. Also, if it sounds like I'm stuffed up, I am. Anyway, this is going to be a small tutorial somebody asked me for, because she is on my MSN, and she asked me, and kind of. And if you want to add me to your MSN, feel free to do so. If you want to add me to your DeviantArt, feel free to do so. If you want, don't really care. Just make sure that if you want me to do something, you gotta let me know. Anyway, this is a little tutorial about shading, basically. And first off, what I wanted to mention in the first part of the video, because obviously there's going to be more, is if you look, I drew one of my characters, Amelia Sharp, and what you see is the 2 top ones are very, very light, and 2 bottom ones are very, very dark. One thing when you have to remember when coloring, I mean, if you are dead on for sure, straight up, you're going to spend your entire life doing black and white pictures for comics, there's your best bet. Or better yet, just get a black one of those. Microns, Millennium, any black pen will do. If you're never going to color anything, you don't have to give a flying flunk. You can use a regular old ballpoint pen, which I don't happen to have with me right now. But it doesn't really matter. Ballpoint pen or, whiteout is an amazing thing for you to use. But if you are planning on coloring your pictures, first, one thing you have to think of is what kind of pen you're going to use. Yes, the lighting is very bad in here. I have one tiny light bulb that's right behind my head, so I'm using a nice little lamp, and I am blinding myself right now for you. Anyway, what I have here is I have a sepia micron, which I used on picture number 3, and then I have a black Millennium, which I used on picture 4. Both very strong colors, known for being strong pens. They don't really come in light colors. If you get a blue or a green, it's going to be a dark color, and like you can see right now in the video, it's all going to look the same color. Obviously, if you get a blue or a green or a sepia instead of a black, the reason those are available and artists use them is because they blend in with the colors more. If you've got a sad picture that you can use a lot of blues or grays on, use a blue. If you're going to have a picture that's fiery, has a lot of reds, use a sepia. If you have a lot of, like one thing I noticed, sepia works well with skin tones. Not always well with other things. Like if you have a bright blue sweater, it clashes a little bit. So be smart about that. These are the 2 that are probably the cheapest pens that you can get. Probably not the cheapest, obviously. But they are light fast, they are waterproof, and they don't smear. Give them a couple minutes to dry, and you can erase almost right away. Make sure you don't have like clumps of the marker, otherwise, yeah, they'll smear. But if you take care with your lines and you're quick and you let them dry, you won't have any problems with them. One thing you do have to watch out for is when the markers start drying out, they'll start to skid, and you'll have to go over the lines a couple of times sometimes, depending on your line style. Always remember that when you are making a line, make one swift motion. I like to think of it as a little dog. Excuse me a moment. Sorry, telemarketer. Anyway. But I like to think of it as a little dog. It'll make that kind of sound. I don't have any idea if you heard that or not, but it'll make that sound. It's kind of like that ruff, Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Anyway, Long strokes or short, quick strokes, fine. But whatever you do, don't go like this. Don't just sit there and do this tiny little lines, because you will have bumpy, wavy lines and you're going to hate that. Same thing with drawing. A lot of people will get right up close to their picture. Don't ever do that. Stay a little bit away so that you can see the entire picture. It's best not to draw on a flat surface. Well, it is to draw on a flat surface, but don't draw it on like a table or something. Sketch it on a table, whatever. But when you're actually doing it, remember to set it up. And I know I've mentioned that before in some of my previous videos. Set it up, stop, turn it over, look at it through a light, look at it from far away, have somebody hold it up across the room to make sure that it looks right. Whether you're drawing, inking, or coloring, that's the best thing you can do. Because these people aren't going to see this thing from right up close, they're going to see it from far away. The other two pens I used, which if you notice are very, very light, you can barely see them. But they are special Copic pens, which I bought online for, I think, $5 each, just about. A little over, a little less, doesn't matter. But I used gray on picture 2 and the sepia, or the brown, on picture 1. Again, keep in mind the tone of the picture. The reason I chose the gray for this picture is because it's supposed to have a surreal tone. The reason I chose sepia doesn't really matter. This color works very, very, very good with skin, especially if you have strong shadows. Beware, it might stand out a little because it is bright. But one thing to remember also about all of your pens is remember the size. On the bottom two, picture number 4 was a 0.3 or a 0.3 millimeters, I think. Let's see what it says. It doesn't say, but it's a 0.3. Micron 0.5, and these two are both, if they were in micron or millennium, it would be 0.05, but here they are 0.05. Very small on the top two, quite normal on the bottom two. Not good to use if you're inking for a comic. They're probably too light for that unless you're coloring the comic. Then it probably wouldn't be a big deal. Sorry. Otherwise, pretty good deal. Wow, that's already 8 minutes. I'm going to stop this video and then I'm going to come on with the next one. And then we're actually going to start with the shading. Bye-bye now.